Evening everyone, welcome to BYJU'S exam prep. Welcome to your session on AWT or the analytical writing test. I hope all of you can see me and hear me clearly. Give me a thumbs up if you can and let us start the session. Okay. Hello Sharda, good evening. I hope you're preparing well for your interviews, and today we will solve some AWT questions so you're more confident during your AWT sessions, right? How are your preparations going on? All clear? Okay. All right. How are your preparations? Hello Pragya. How are your preparations going on? Is AWT and critical thinking the same? Similar. It is critical reasoning or writing critically. It is like the argument evaluation test that is there in GMAT, only it is easier for IIMA because they ask you specific questions. GMAT, on the other hand, all the questions are put together as part of the general prompt, right? So we will look at that. It is same as critical thinking, reasoning, writing. Yes, you can call it critical writing actually. All right. So what a small case is given to you, a small sentence is given to you, a few sentences on a case is given to you where somebody expresses an opinion. All right. And you are asked, very good evening, and you are asked certain specific questions. And the questions actually ask you, what do you think of this person's statements? Do you agree with it? What evidence will make his argument stronger? What evidence will make it weaker? What are the assumptions he is making? What is his conclusion? So depending on the argument, they would ask you questions. So it is more or less like a critical reasoning argument where you have to look at the set of sentences and identify what is the author's claim or conclusion and what are the facts he has given, and in reaching this conclusion, what assumptions has he made. That is the beginning of AWT, though not all questions would ask you to always identify these three, but identifying them will help you write better answers. As I told you, in GMAT, it's a free-flowing essay where they say, describe how well reasoned you find this argument. What is the evidence given by the author? What are the assumptions made by the author? What would make the argument stronger or weaker or whatever. Here they would ask you specific questions. Do you agree? What are the author's claims? How would you strengthen it? How would you weaken it? So depending on the questions they ask, you would frame those answers. All right. Hello, good evening, Radheshyam. So you have to be very clear because it's just 20 minutes and you're given one line page with 4 or 5 questions. So when you read the argument itself, these are the questions you ask yourself. How well reasoned is this argument? What is the line of reasoning? I mean, take a very easy statement, right? Mrs. A doesn't lie. How do you know that? She told me so. What is the flaw in this argument? You think about it and you say, okay, you restate the flaw. We are using her evidence that she is not a liar to conclude that she is not a liar, right? So that is called circular reasoning. So in the same way, when you read an argument, you talk to yourself. How well reasoned is the argument? What is the line of reasoning? The author says, if A happens, B happened. B happened, therefore A happened. That is flawed reasoning. If it rains, sale of lassi is high. If it is summer, sale of ice cream is high. If it is cold, sale of coffee and chai are high. The sale of coffee and chai is high, so it must be summer. It must be winter. That is flawed reasoning. So you have to identify the line of reasoning when you read the argument itself. Then you evaluate or see what kind of support factors has he given or not given any support factors at all. Okay, what are the questionable assumptions? Not all people do that. One person has said this, who says smoking is injurious to health. My friend smokes 100,000 cigarettes a day. He lived till he was 100. Oh, well, what are you doing? It's a hasty generalization. So what are the questionable assumptions? That one person, all other people are similar. So the assumption is based on just one case, insufficient sample. And he has assumed that if it works for one, it's working for everybody. That is the questionable assumption. What alternative explanations or counter examples might weaken the conclusion? Not all of this would you like to really be, would you be thinking of, because the questions themselves ask you only 3 or 4 things. But as you are reading the argument, these will all pop up. What evidence would strengthen or refute the argument? So it just reads like a strengthening argument of your critical reasoning. Which of the following, if true, will strengthen the argument? My favorite example is X scored 65 or 68% in the exam. X must be the topper. All of you will laugh, right? But which of the following, if true, will strengthen this conclusion? Conclusion is X must be the topper. Evidence is 68%. Now, what would strengthen? You have to give 2 more pieces of evidence, 1 more piece of evidence, which will make my conclusion that X is the topper stronger. And how would you do that? You would say, in this particular exam, nobody has got more than 60% in the last 10 years. Or plus, X is an excellent student who has aced all exams he or she has taken in this year. Now, those additional facts would suddenly make 68% look like a topper percentage. So, that is how you strengthen arguments. Weaken arguments similarly, right? None of my students, none of my students attended the AWT session. They do not like me. Okay. So, what is the evidence I am giving? No student attended my session. What is the conclusion I am drawing? They don't like me. They don't like my teaching. Now, how would you weaken? I hope you will try to weaken my conclusion. What would you say? Nobody knew that the class was scheduled for today. That offers an alternate explanation to what I am saying. I am saying they didn't attend my class because they didn't like me. You accept my fact that they didn't attend my class, but you give another reason for him. So, you refute my argument means conclusion. Right? So, what would help better evaluate? Sometimes when you are comparing 2 things, you would say more facts about this rather than that. There was one very interesting GMAT essay which talked about 2 pop groups, Zing and Zang, and then said that this group, A and B we'll call it, we'll not call those confusing names. They said that B must emulate A's marketing strategy. What has A and B are both pop groups. They sing similar kind of music, but A is more popular than B. Kirti will talk about that. Srinivas is the person who will be telling you all about which is better, which is not. Okay, what are the other calls you have got? All right. So basically, if he says that A and B sing similar type of music, but A is more popular than B. So B must follow A in terms of its marketing strategy. A has come up with a whole lot of t-shirts, records, cups, something else. Therefore, B should do the same. And then they'll say which would help you better evaluate its conclusion. That did A become more popular than B after it did all this or before it did all this? For you to know whether the marketing thing was the reason for the soaring popularity of A or B. Even if they play a similar kind of same genre of music, doesn't mean they play it alike. Right? I can also sing, you can also sing, Shreya Ghoshal and Arjit Singh can also sing. But that doesn't mean I can also sing Hindi film songs. That doesn't mean I sing like him or her. Right? So that is the key that you need to look at. Alright. So these are the points that you need to keep in mind when you analyze an argument. Generally, the IMA test asks you these 4 questions generally. Claim is nothing but a conclusion. What is the claim of the author? What is the resting point of the argument? What is the main point of the argument? That is what you identify first. Reasoning, what is he saying? What are the support points he has used? So accordingly, you figure out, why is he saying this? Okay, I'll say A will make a better prime minister than B, or A will make a better captain of a cricket team than B, and you will say, on what grounds are you saying it? I'll say, oh, you know, A speaks better English. Is English the criterion for deciding who will be the captain? A is better looking. Then you know my line of reasoning. Then you start finding flaws in it. So is the reasoning strong? Is the reasoning weak? And then you have to support your points. Understood, everybody? All right. So basically, let's quickly go through it. The topic presents an argument. You have to find out the premises, the assumptions, and the conclusions. What is a premise? The facts or points given by the author. The final claim is the conclusion, which is either in the form of a prediction, or this must be the reason that is happening, or a suggestion. We must stop using Chinese smartphones. Why? Because if we do that, China's economy will fall. So what is his conclusion? Stop using Chinese smartphones. Okay, a prediction, a suggestion, a claim he is making about the future becomes the conclusion. And the line of reasoning that joins your fact with the conclusion is the assumption. Got it? All of you clear so far? Okay. This is one of the easiest examples, my favorite example, Radhe Shyam. I am not very good at Hindi and I cannot explain essay writing in Hindi. जो थोड़ा हिंदी आता है मैं बोल सकती हूँ थोड़ा थोड़ा, बट इसको मैं एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर पाऊंगी. I think you will understand better if I speak in English. I'll speak slowly. So Virat plays for the Indian cricket team. Let's change it to, who's that? Gill. Right, your favorite now. Shubman Gill plays for the Indian cricket team. All players of the Indian cricket team are great. So Shubman Gill, Sachin Tendulkar, Virat must be great. Premise, he plays for the team. Fact, he must be great. That is my claim. On what basis have I done that? This is never stated. On what basis have I said he must be great? I am assuming anyone who plays for the Indian cricket team must be great. Everyone who plays for the Indian cricket team must be great. Therefore, Virat must be great. That's how you identify assumptions. Clear? So, what is the process before we start solving some questions? Read the case carefully, restate in your own words. Always the best thing to do. You have to understand what is the short case given to you. Very short. It will be a few lines long. Identify the conclusion. What is the author's final claim? Find that out. Find what reasons he is giving to come to the claim. When you answer the questions, your style of writing should be clear and concise, and you have to use the active voice. This has been done by me sounds bad. I did this sounds good. This was done by Virat sounds bad. Virat did this sounds better. Clear? All right. You're with me so far? All right. We'll start with this and then I'll give you a Virat Kohli topic, okay? Not my own creation. It came in one. I got these topics pretty late in the day. Okay, let's look at this. This is a nice clear case. How will you write about it? You need to be slightly fast at typing because I have to see it. There's a lag anyway. Technology impacts how children think and feel. They think superficially and lose creativity. Ones who spend too much time online lose focus. So, children should be kept away from technology till they are 12 years old. Now, somebody restate the topic for me. What are the three main points of the topic? What is the final conclusion? Identify the author's claim. What is the author's claim? What is the author's suggestion? What is he building his ideas to? Quickly, let me see your answers. Technology impacts how children think and feel. They tend to think superficially and lose creativity. The ones who spend too much time online tend to lose focus. So, they should be kept away from technology till they are 12 years old. Children should be kept away from technology. Rohit, is that only the one? Now remember, don't leave out anything. Children should be kept away from technology. And then remember, there is another thing he has put here. Till they are 12 years old. Alright, that's the claim. Alright, now he is just asking, do you agree or disagree? What are the reasons he is saying that technology influences how they think and feel? This is the first reason. Their thoughts will be superficial, they lose creativity, they lose focus. Right? These are the 4 points. Alright? Do you agree or disagree? Now, how are you going to build the statement? What is, identify the author's claim? Author's claim is that children should be kept away from technology till they are 12 years old. That is the claim. Okay? Alright. You know what are the support points. In case they ask what evidence has the author given, technology affects how children think and feel. That technology makes them think superficially. Technology makes them lose creativity and makes them lose focus. These are the points the author has cited against technology. Right? Agree with me so far? Alright. Now tell me, do you agree or disagree? Do you agree that children should be kept away from technology till they are 12 years old? Now, what do you think of this argument? They are only asking, do you agree or disagree, which means they expect a slightly longer answer. So, first thing is, agree with the author's points against technology or not? Quickly, let me see. Only Rohit's answer I have got. What about the others? Quickly, type in your messages. Should children be kept away from technology till they are... Okay, I agree with the author's points against technology. Alright, that technology does make children lose focus, makes them think superficially, and changes the way they think and feel. Okay. Sanjay, next question. So, do you agree with the 12 years old only till 12? And what is the big change that's going to happen after 12? After 12, they start thinking better, is it? So, what is this 12 year? How are you going to build your argument after this? How are you going to build your argument after this? Yes or no? Either ways. Okay. Disagree. The timing can be limited instead of completely keeping them away from technology. All right. Yes. Now, let me just tell you one thing so that you cover all. Okay. Disadvantages of technology. Okay. Advantages of technology. Kept away till 12 years old. What are your suggestions? These are the 4 things that you're going to say. Yes, it is true that too much of technology affects children. Therefore, limiting. Now, what exactly, there are 2 things that you also need to know. What does the author mean by technology? Isn't that rather vague? What are you talking about? Technology, does it mean TV? Does it mean computers? Does it mean smartphones? What does he mean by technology? So, before we start agreeing or disagreeing, we've got some points. This is all during the planning stage, right? We have in AWT, a planning stage is a template where you've decided what are you going to do. What are the disadvantages of technology? Do you agree with the author's points about the disadvantages of technology? But the key question is, what does he mean by technology? Isn't that a very broad statement? So, when you say technology, what are you talking? What are you disagreeing about? What are you agreeing about? This is the problem that students had with this topic. What do you mean by technology? Using smartphones, tablet, computers, and is that what is the exposure the children have to technology, right? So when you say broadly, when you are talking of technology, the part where children interact with technology, I would assume that the author means these things. If these are the things, do you really think they lose creativity? Technology in one way makes it like the calculator and even now the phone where it only shows you names. We don't remember numbers, right? So we're thinking very dumbly. We don't think, rather we just become creatures who don't think. We used to remember 6-8 digit numbers, phone numbers, and suddenly it's come to a point when we just see the name. Do you even know your own number? Yeah, sometimes we have to give the number, so we look at our phones to do it. So while yes, it impacts how we think, it makes us stop thinking. We rely too much on technology, on calculators, on computers, on phones to do a lot of our work with us. At the same time, do you think it really stops them from thinking and feeling, or do you think it makes them think more? Do you really think it damages their creativity, or is it making them more creative? Right? So there are a lot of points suddenly that you have. You can't blindly say that yes, it impacts how they think and feel. True. But it might, that the way of thinking and feeling might be different. So when you're looking at it, do you agree or disagree? When you're writing, yes, I agree also, you have to put conditions here. When you write disagree also, you give reasons why you disagree and what are the points. Put it in a coherent manner in active voice and you're set. So this topic should be easy. Give yourself 20 minutes and write this essay after the class. Alright. Now the other topic, as I told you, I got the topic just minutes before the class. I'd asked a student, can you give it to me? Virat Kohli decided to take paternal leave during the India-Australia series, if you remember. Sonali was a big fan of Kohli and criticized him, saying that cricketers are like soldiers. Kohli shouldn't have left the team at such a crucial stage and gone to be with his family. Analyze the argument, analyze the thought process and counter her argument. So first of all, Kohli took paternal leave, right, during the India-Australia series. Now we are being asked to look at Sonali's argument. What is Sonali's first argument? That cricketers are like soldiers. Alright, so by leaving the team, Kohli was wrong. He should have stayed on and played for the team. He let down the team by leaving the series and being with his family. Analyze the argument. Analyze the thought process of Sonali, the girl who said this. And then tell us whether you agree. Then counter her argument. They have clearly said counter her arguments. How are you going to do this? Again, I want some answers quickly. Right? Kohli took paternal leave during the India-Australia series. Premise 1. Sonali's premise is cricketers are like soldiers. Sonali's opinion. And therefore, by leaving the team, Kohli let down the team. He should not have left the series midway at such a crucial stage. Analyze Sonali's arguments and counter her arguments. So what are the points you are going to make? Quickly again type in a sentence or two. A sentence or two that immediately strikes you. So remember, when you are planning, what we are doing now is going to happen in your mind during the planning stage. Right? After that, you decide how am I going to write the series. India won that series 2-1, but Sanjay, this was, Whether they lost or won, the point is not the outcome of the match. Do you think Kohli was wrong? Sonali says cricketers. So what is the first point? Yes, I remember that. What is the first point that she make? That cricketers are like soldiers. Do you agree with that? Second, do you think Kohli's decision was wrong? That he betrayed his team. Right? So the first point, cricketers are like soldiers. Are they? Is the analogy, is the comparison correct? Do you think that cricketers are really like soldiers? Do you agree with that comparison? That's the first point on which you counter the argument. The second one that you counter is on Kohli's decision. Right? You have professional commitments, you have personal commitments, and it's all about balancing your professional and personal commitments. Since you've been asked to counter her argument, you will say that if he had been injured, he would have been out. He is not the only player in the team. It's a cricket team, it's a team match. Even if it had been an individual series, parenting is as important as his profession as a cricketer. And therefore, his personal commitments at this time were the priority for him. It was important that he be with his family. Therefore, his decision was not wrong. So, those are the two main points that you're going to write to counter the claim. If they had asked, do you agree or disagree, you can go ahead and give your own opinion. There are no rights and wrongs in this. Do not overthink. Alright. If you feel he did the right thing, please write why and what. And if you think he did the wrong thing, you write why and what. But since here we've been asked to counter her arguments, we will go this way. Alright? Okay. What is the reasoning behind the claim? Is it weak? Is it strong? Okay, what is her reasoning behind the claim? Cricketers like soldiers. Is it weak? Yes. The role of a soldier is very different. The purpose of an army and protection of the country's borders, very different from a game. Right? It's a sport. It's a game. It's not an issue of life and death. It's not a question of national security. So, they are two totally different things. So, the reasoning behind the claim is that the comparison between cricketers and soldiers, that is weak. Why? Because that comparison is illogical. And then you will justify your stand by saying one is a question of national security, one is the question of a soldier's commitment, that he will say, I will be at the border no matter what. And when he signs in to enlist in the defense services, he signs that the defense services are his first priority. Cricketers don't do that. I mean, personal commitments are personal commitments. Okay? That is why it's, a soldier is, we look up to them because they make such tremendous sacrifices. So, you justify your stand with that. Me Too to बहुत पुराना हो गया है, but basically at the height of the Me Too campaign, this was the question, that it is exaggerated, and since it is allegations on men who have a standing in society, the allegation should not be given importance until the numbers become too sensational or large enough for us to give importance to them, give attention to it. So, here the whole point is the author's reasoning. He is not looking into whether your allegations are justified or not. He says they are ruining the foundations of society. They are ruining the reputation of men in society. So, we should not give too much importance to these allegations until the numbers become sensational or unless the numbers become too much. So, the whole key is on that a wrong is a wrong. Yes, absolutely, Sharda. There are no views on no correct and wrong, Sharda. What you did is good, limited number of time, but the key is how well you explain that, and I thought you did it pretty well. Alright, understood. Okay, the next one. Money is all that matters. People who say money doesn't matter are those who don't know how to make money. Those who say money doesn't matter are those who don't know how to make money. Money is important. Those who say money is not important don't know how to make money. Alright? The question is asking, Kohli thing is also fine. In Virat Kohli thing, you just need to talk about two things. One, Virat Kohli, where is your answer? Virat Kohli, Sharda, I didn't see your answer on Virat Kohli. I only saw on... Yeah. Sanjay, true. Money matters. So the question is not asking that. Question is asking, what are the author's assumptions? That is number one. Then second, what evidence will strengthen or weaken the author's argument? That means the author's conclusion. So first, money is all that matters. Money is, the question said, money is all that matters. What is the conclusion? What is the conclusion here? Money is all that matters. Those who say money doesn't matter don't know how to make money. Question is asking, what are the assumptions? What evidence would strengthen or weaken the argument? These were the two questions that at least the students had mentioned. So, what you did, Sanjay, you expressed your opinion. We are not supposed to, we only have to express our opinions as far as the argument is concerned, right? So, what is the conclusion first? Because we have to strengthen or weaken it. What is the conclusion here? Money is all that matters. Those who don't know how to, those who say money doesn't matter are those who do not know how to make money. Alright, what is the author's main point here? Let me get your answers. It's okay if you get it wrong. What is the author's claim here? What's the most important thing? Exactly, money is all that matters. Money is all important. That is. So, what is the author's conclusion? That money is all that matters. Okay. And what is the reason he is giving for that? He hasn't given us any reason. He's just said those who say money doesn't matter are those who don't know how to make money. So, what is the assumption he is making? What are the assumptions? What is he taking for granted when he says, we can only connect these 2 points. What are the assumptions he is making? Money is all that matters. Those who say money doesn't matter are those who don't make money. What is the assumption he is making here? Just tie up this sentence to that and see what has not been said. That's the assumption. What is his assumption? Put that in your own words. So, the author is assuming that from these we can say the assumption is that people who don't know how to make money are the ones who believe that money doesn't matter or who claim that money doesn't matter. Correct? Okay. That is one of the clearest assumption he is making. That people who don't know how to make money, people who don't have money are the ones who say that money doesn't matter. Those who have money realize the importance of money and they will agree that money matters. That's what he is saying. Now, what evidence will strengthen this argument and what evidence will weaken this argument? Think of certain facts, certain statistics if you can, which shows that money is important or money is not important. Absolutely, Sanjay, that people who don't have money or don't know how to make money are the ones who claim that money doesn't matter. Those who have money will never say that money doesn't matter, according to the author. Which one would make the authors, what kind of evidence or fact would make the author's conclusion stronger? It's a case of sour grapes, basically, he's saying. You talk about how people who are wealthy want to make more money. People who are wealthy guard their wealth. They'll do anything to not lose money or to make more money. What evidence would make it weaker? That no matter how much money you have, money doesn't give you health, money doesn't give you peace of mind. People who realize that it's only up to a certain level that people go chasing money. After a while, they realize that the important things in life don't come with that. There's only a certain amount that is required for us to lead a good life. And so a lot of people, even if they know how to make money, even if after they've made a lot of money and know how to make money, realize that money is only important to a certain extent and not all that matters. A lot of things in life which matter more than money. Now here the biggest problem we have is, this is our opinion. If you can give it with statistics, which is why some of the richest people turn philanthropists. They just give away their money. They said, I don't want it. Start giving examples of that. Start giving examples of people who leave all their money and go join a monastery. They find peace there because money doesn't give them peace. Start giving those. Alright? So that is how you build yours. You don't have to write too much. Just 1 or 2 sentences. So make sure that they matter. Sanjay's point was good. Alright? You can, but you won't have either time or space for that, Sanjay. So basically, they'll give you 1 page with 3 questions on it. So each question, you'll probably get 4 or 5 lines. So it's very important to think of your answer before you write it. Even if you're typing it, you get only 20 minutes. Keep that in mind. Example, Bill Gates or somebody, you can always write. You can include anecdotes. You just won't have time for it. Alright. So what I'm trying to tell you is to build the argument. Do you agree? What kind of evidence? Evidence of people with money who claim money, who say money doesn't matter or realize money doesn't matter. Such as, give examples. That's how you do. Alright. Now this was an old means 3-4 years back, one of my favorites. I remember something about them having meetings in hotels, in 5-star hotels was also given in this question. Money should not be given to non-governmental organizations. Why? They end up spending it on themselves. So why do we need NGOs when the government is there to help the needy? NGOs use emotionally manipulative ads and other such questionable propaganda. So NGOs should be banned. Now here, because we're getting this as feedback from students, some say NGOs should be banned, some say such activities, that is such activities, these activities should be banned. Whichever way, what is the line of reasoning? What are the assumptions? What is the evidence provided? And what will strengthen or weaken it? Let's again look at what is the claims? What are the claims made or the conclusions of the author? What is the conclusion? Final conclusion and intermediary. What's the final conclusion? The main conclusion of the argument. Again, I just want 1 or 2 of you to quickly type. What's the main conclusion of the argument? If he asks you, what are the claims? What is the author's main claim or conclusion? What would you say? NGOs should be banned. Perfect. NGOs should be banned. Okay. What is the line of reasoning? What are the reasons and support points he has given? That's your line of reasoning. What is the line of reasoning he has used? They spend the money on themselves. Number 1. They don't serve any purpose because the government is there to help the needy. They use propaganda and manipulative ads. This is the line of reasoning. Okay, what are the assumptions, unsupported claims and assumptions he has made? What are the assumptions? Money should not be given to NGO. Look at it the way you did when you studied verbal logic. So remember, in the planning stage, you think of all possible assumptions. Then you write down only the 2 or 3 that you can frame properly. If you say money should not be given to NGOs, the first assumption is we give money to NGOs. The presence of something, right? Money should not be given to NGOs. What is he taking for granted? That NGOs are given money, or we give money to NGOs. Second, they end up spending it on themselves. The money is meant for some other purpose. Okay. So NGOs are not transparent, are not correct, are not ethical in the use of money. They don't use it for the purpose for which they get it. Third, NGOs purportedly help the needy. The government helps the needy. There is no work that the government can't do. The NGOs do not. So basically he's saying, why do we need NGOs when the government is there to help the needy? So what is the assumption? That the government helps the needy. So NGOs are redundant. Government is doing, all the needy are being taken care of by the government. That's what he is assuming. That is the other assumption. And fourth one, emotionally manipulative ads are not desirable. Right? Each sentence you decide what is he taking for granted. Alright, those are the assumptions. So since this is all wrong, therefore NGOs should be banned. Okay, then you think of what kind of evidence will strengthen it. Audits find that NGOs use only 1% of the money for the purpose for which the money is given, the donations. The rest is used for the other things, would strengthen the argument. What would weaken it? That government often cannot help, cannot reach financial audits. Exactly. Government does not reach sections of the populations and NGOs can. Their record shows they have helped people, economically disadvantaged, socially disadvantaged people way more than government does. They are effective, they are faster, they do this, they do that, all that you can mention to weaken the author's argument. One reason is enough. If you have time, if there is space, 2 reasons. Got it? The thing is, when you're looking at assumptions, look at each of the premises that leads to the conclusions, and you have your assumptions. Yes, government, everything is on paper. The NGOs are more effective, more efficient. Then they cater. NGOs cater. I'm sorry. I thought I had silenced it. NGOs cater to niche areas. So you have NGOs for girl child. You have one for senior citizens. You have the NGOs do. They have the government. How much can the government do? It's being overburdened. So you can explain a lot. But use, depending on how much time and space you are given, use one. Takes a lot of time. There are delays in providing. Most of the time they also cannot provide, and NGOs are more efficient. Perfect. Alright. Okay. Before that, let's look at another one. There is an insider versus outsider debate in Bollywood, right? So an actress said that in other industries like sports, business, outsiders are more welcome than in the film industry. The film industry is not open to outsiders working in them. The question is again the same. What is the author's conclusion? What are the assumptions made by the author? And how would you strengthen or weaken the lady's, the actress's claims? So they said recently the insider versus outsider debate has been sparked off in Bollywood. a noted film actress said that the film industry is not open to outsiders, unlike other industries like sports and business, where outsiders have more, where other industries are more accessible to outsiders. Okay, what is the claim and how would you strengthen, how would you weaken? Got it? So, do you think insider-outsider debate is justified? That is number one. Do you think the film industry is really closed to outsiders? Okay. Do you think that other areas are more open to outsiders? So, these are the 3 points. And think of how to counter them or how to strengthen them. Alright. Okay. Next one, and this is now in AWT, there would definitely be certain, the usual topics that we get in WAT. One of the most common topics, the evergreen topic, so to speak, is anything on gender. All right, gender discrimination, disparity, problems that women face. So, the other side of the coin is what this is saying. What do you think of it? Do you agree, or what is your stand on it? This was interesting. When someone pointed out to a lady who was smoking that smoking is bad for health, she retorted that women in India are not given enough freedom. What is the lady's reasoning? Let me get your answers on this. What is the lady's reasoning? Do you agree with it? And what is your stand on the issue? Okay, the first thing. Then we will analyze the argument. We will analyze the issue it highlights. And state your opinion is the same as your stand on the issue. First one. What is the lady's reasoning? In your own words, who can give me who can tell me clearly, what is this lady's reasoning? Smoking is bad for health, women are not given enough freedom in India. What is the lady's reasoning? Smoking is bad for health, women are not given freedom in India. Not that easy, but the issue is easy. The reasoning is not relevant. Perfect. Why is it not relevant? Smoking is bad for health. For men, women, anyone who smokes. That was the point. And here she took it as an issue of freedom. She interpreted it as you should not smoke. The lady, she thinks that if a man smokes, nobody points out, but just because she's a lady. Alright, correct. So what is her reasoning? That the woman interpreted it as saying that if I had been a man, you wouldn't have pointed this out. But because I'm a woman, I don't have the freedom to smoke and you're pointing it out. She interpreted it that way. Alright, good. Do you agree with it? Do you agree with it? Agree with her reasoning? I live in a free country. So what if I pollute my lungs and keep smoking? Who are you to tell me? Do you agree with her reasoning? No. Okay. Why not? What's your stand on the issue? Do you agree with it? No, I don't. Let me just go to settings and put this off. Okay, guys. What is your reasoning on it? Let me get it. I thought I had cut. Oh, the call volume is there. Every other volume, ring volume is there. Everything else has been silenced. All right. Perfect. See, Sharda said no one asked her to stop smoking. They just pointed out that it was not good for health. Okay, so you don't agree with her reply. The person was only offering a piece of advice or making a comment that smoking is bad for health. The statement is not telling her do not smoke because you're a woman. If it had said, so, okay, smoking is generally bad, not related to gender. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Now, the key here is, I want to know what is the meaning of this. I was confused when I read it. What is your stand on the issue? What is my stand on smoking in general? What is my stand on the issue of women smoking? What is my stand on women not being given enough freedom? What stand is he asking about? Maybe the person who gave us this was what the question, this was the question I was asked, gave it wrong. Okay, what's your stand on the issue is, what's your stand on the lady's reasoning, then the answers you have given is fine. It was just a piece of advice. Nobody is asking you to stop. You go ahead and stop if you want to kill yourself. Nobody is asking you to stop. That part is fine. Now, let's leave that. Let's move here. This makes more sense. Analyze the argument, the issue it highlights, and state your opinion. Is this statement, here again there are two things you need to look at. The issue it highlights, is it about smoking in general? Is it about women smoking, or is it about women's choice and freedom? Yeah, Funny says it's her choice. Okay, is it about her choice or freedom? So when you are not sure, this is what I would do. If I find the question a little ambiguous, I would say, to me, the issue seems to be about smoking in general. I'm against it. Men smoking, it is not gender based. It's bad for health. It's bad for health. So I'm against anyone smoking. If it is about women not being given enough freedom, that's an entirely different issue. This issue is not about that. Okay, women do not really have as many opportunities as men. But as far as smoking is concerned, that is not the point, right? It's her choice. She can go to a pub. She shouldn't be thrown out of a pub and ill-treated, like as some were done, as it happened in Mangalore and Bangalore. Some woman in the pub was molested and harassed. So it's a question of an adult having the right to do what he or she wants. If what she wants, if it doesn't, the gender should not decide if it's right or wrong. Or nobody should decide on her behalf what is to be done, right? So that would be your stand if it is about freedom that women enjoy. But this sentence is not about somebody stopping her from smoking, so she must have overreacted, right? But if this is exactly what the question asked in the exam, then it's not as straightforward as it looks. Okay, my favorite is this. Galileo and Pythagoras should be respected more than Shakespeare and Mozart, because they, that is Galileo and Pythagoras, had a greater impact on modern civilization. Okay, Galileo and Pythagoras should be respected more than Shakespeare and Mozart because they, that is Galileo and Pythagoras, have had a greater impact on modern civilization. What do you think? What is the line of reasoning? And state your opinion. So again, who is going to sum up the argument in other words? What is the argument saying? What is the key to this argument? You need time. So basically, whenever you're given the topic, please state it 2, 3, 4 times to ask yourself, what is the argument asking? What is the author's conclusion in my own words? What are the reasons or support statement the author has given? Are they well reasoned? Not? How do I strengthen it? How do I weaken it? Whatever question you've been given. So what is he saying here? Galileo and Pythagoras should be respected more than Shakespeare and Mozart because they have a greater impact on modern civilization. Analyze the argument and state your opinion. So you can happily state your opinion here. I agree with it or don't agree, but first analyze the argument for me. The argument states that, or the argument that scientific contributions are superior to artistic contributions, or scientists are superior to artists, is well reasoned or not well? Scientists should be given more respect than artists, literature, literary heroes, dramatists, right? Because their contribution is greater, or that the impact or contribution of science and scientists is greater than that of artists and literary giants. Correct? This argument, do you find it well reasoned? He hasn't given any, one reason only, because of their greater impact. So, do you think it is well reasoned? Sanjay, even if we don't know, like for example, definitely if you say Pandit Bhimsen Joshi or Birju Maharaj, somebody in the US would say, who are they? But the key is Mozart was a great composer, right? So for us, yeah, I don't know the other guy, so I guess he is correct, won't work. Yeah, forgetting. I'm not sure what you mean, huh? Okay. So anyway, so the conclusion is scientists should be respected more than artists and literary giants, right? And musicians. Reason, scientists have a greater impact on civilization. So what is the assumption? That respect should be given on the basis of your impact on civilization. That is number one. Second, that art and literature haven't had as great an impact as science. These are the two assumptions. From here, you start arguing your opinion. Do you really think so? Why? Okay? And what? If that had been true, why would you be listening to music when you want to de-stress? Does your AI and MI and all that really help you relax? Does your coding help you relax? Why does everybody listen to music, whatever the kind of music that be? Can be music that stresses me out. My nephew was listening to some artist which really, made my palpitations go up. Then I would listen to somebody who's saying Mukesh, old Hindi film songs. So yeah, okay, tricky. Please write an essay on this topic. And you'd find you have to delve really deep when you analyze the argument. How do you analyze the argument? What's the conclusion? What are the reasoning? The argument that science and scientists should be respected more than musicians, artists and literary giants because they have a greater impact on modern civilization is flawed. Because, and then give. It assumes that respect is on the basis of the impact. It assumes that art and literature does not have an impact. Science, the impact of science and technology is tangible. You can see it. The impact of art, literature, great literature, great music is intangible. Understood? And then you start giving your opinions. Understood? Right, philosophy, art, music, okay, Shakespeare was for literature and Mozart stands for music in general. Alright, okay. The other one was something about all conflict is bad. So we should avoid conflict. We should stick around with like-minded people. When you stick around with like-minded people, they will support your decisions. They will agree with whatever you say. That will improve your self-confidence, that will make you, that will put you in an environment where you can grow and prosper. Do you agree with it? Do you believe that all conflict is bad? Okay, that was one of the topics. Alright, the other one is social media has helped in making our world more democratic. Do you agree? And the rest tells you how it has made the world more democratic. And the question again asks, what are the claims made here? What's the reasoning? Is the reasoning strong or weak? And give reasons. Another very, very good essay to write. Author says social media has made our world more democratic. Then it has given reasons by telling you how it has helped to make your world more democratic. Politicians can reach out to people, people can reach out to politicians. Every politician has a Facebook fan page, a Twitter account, an Insta account, and whatever. It also has given people access. Everyone has access to a lot more people. So people who have political ambitions can build a fan base. It has helped people to reach out for funds, which is very important to join politics. And it has helped make communication faster and more effective. So do you think social media has helped to make our world more democratic? All right. There was another topic on cleanliness, that Western countries, cleanliness is part of their work ethic. Other people like Singapore countries, they have very strict laws. If you do not maintain hygiene, you are punished. In India, on the other hand, children are not taught about it. So we need a civic education system, but the schools and teachers are not willing to teach it. So the conclusion here is teaching cleanliness is impossible in India. Hence, we should stop hoping for a clean India. Do you think? What do you think of this argument? Okay. If you agree with the author, that's fine. You have to tell us why. Why science and technology has a greater impact. But he says, author says that science and technology should be respected more because it has a greater impact. Funny. It's not just greater impact. Should get more respect because it has a greater impact. So it has two parts to it. Not just the key is respect because it has greater impact. So do you think respect is a function of one's impact in society? Second, do you really think that science has a greater impact? The impact of science is tangible, while the impact of art, literature, music is intangible. Can you think of civilization and culture without these? Okay, then you can argue either ways. All right, clear? Any questions from you all? Any questions on essays? Getting into which college, what percentile, please. Okay, MCA college. There are sessions on that, please ask. Any questions on AWT essay writing, please ask. Write an essay on, first plan your essay in your mind. Write at least 2 or 3 and time yourself. Parents should be more responsible because the child does what it sees. Very good topic. Okay. So they say, right? They say that, you set an example. So, yeah. Dress code for girls Sharda, there is no exact one, but I would err on the side of the conservative part. If you're wearing Western formals or very nicely starched salwar kameez with dupatta, whatever you're most comfortable with, wear that. Western formals, wear Western formals. You're fine with it if you're comfortable with it. It should be a formal dress. So because you're Indian, you can wear salwar kameez, nice starched dupatta, that will be fine. Okay, whatever you're comfortable with. If no dress code has been written, there is none, because Symbiosis would ask you to wear Western formals. It's part of the IIM Ahmedabad interview. WAT is what I taught in the sessions so far. That is for all IIMs. Ahmedabad in particular would ask AWT, which is analyzing an argument, evaluating an argument, identifying. In WAT, you are building an argument. You are saying this should be done because of this. In AWT, somebody else says that, and you have to look at it and you have to say, no, what he is saying is correct. So you're evaluating and seeing if that person is absolutely fine, Sharada. Okay, not I would, as I said, err on the side of the conservative. Nothing too showy. Light jewelry is fine. Nothing too showy. Tie up your hair neatly in a ponytail. Okay, nothing too showy. Formal closed-toe shoes as far as possible. Okay, anything you are comfortable with that you would wear to office or college for a presentation is fine. Okay, you cannot not know anything about the argument, no Sanjay. You cannot not know anything about the argument. It's like I am saying something and you are trying to pick holes or trying to support what I am saying. So it's actually easier than WAT. WAT mein you don't know anything about an argument, and a topic I can understand. Somebody has already said it, so you read it and you say no, he is correct, he is wrong because of this. You will have your views on it. Okay. Anyone who is aspiring for 2023 or today, as I am teaching, Srinivas is also taking a parallel session on CAT 2023. CMAT, real experience, we having All India Open Mock for CMAT from 21st to 29th January. Do join us on social media. Alright. You can, I think we don't have too many topics on it. So you can write short 18 to 20 minute essays on evaluative arguments on all the topics that we discussed today. Right, that would make you feel good. If you still want more, just pick up any of the topics in the GMAT official website. You will understand how an argument is given. All right. And as I said, time your essays and practice. The topics you will get would be very different, but at least your it will put in the pattern of thinking. Identify the conclusion, identify the assumptions, and then write. Absolutely. Author's claim, put it in your own words, Sharda. Author's claim and reasoning is directly there in the argument. They only want you to identify it properly. That's it. So you put it in your own words, that would be better. Instead of just cutting and pasting what the author has said, you can put it in your own words. Only the claims you can write. The assumptions are never given. Assumptions are what you have to identify from the premise and the conclusion. Yeah, put it in your own words as far as possible. Always a good thing to do. But think before you write. Okay. And practice 3-4 questions on an argument in 15 minutes. Then in the exam, that 15 minutes turns out to be 20 minutes. Alright. Any other question? Any other question? No? Okay, all the best to all of you for the exam, for the PI and AWT session. Okay, stay calm and cool, give it your best shot, you will get through. Okay, unless you goof up big time, which I know you won't. Sharda, the topics I have given you, these are all there. Okay. Plus the few that I discussed. Alright. I didn't get too many. BYJU'S website has some. The topics I gave you, just watch it again. And so these are about 7 of them I gave you. And I gave you some more that I got in the last minute. 3-4 more. So you have 10 topics to practice. If you want more, just to get the argument, not necessarily the kind of argument that would be asked, IMA asks or India specific situations, you can look at the GMAT official website, which gives AWA topics, analytical writing assessment. I think there are about 3,000 topics. Okay, don't go into that, just pick up a few from there if you really want to practice some, and just look at it. Okay, this is it. How do I identify the conclusion? How do I identify the premises? What's the assumption? Just for you to understand the kind of questions they'll ask. The topics that they'll ask in IMA would be totally different. In GMAT, I told you they'd ask about 2 pop groups, same kind of music. So, but A is more popular than B. Therefore B should, follow the strategy, marketing and hype strategy used by A. Then they'll ask what are the assumptions, what's the conclusion, what's the other thing. Somebody else said some confectionery shop started using artificial sweeteners in its cookies and pastries and all, and people didn't realize that it's artificial sweetener, so they should now stick to only artificial sweeteners. Okay, again they'll say how well reason do you find this. So there are lots of topics there, similar, not the same, obviously. All right, just type in AWA topics, you'll get plenty of them. 3,000, 3,500 odd. Okay. All right. All the best. Do well. I'm sure you will do well. All right. Any other question? Are we set then? When is your interview? When are your interviews? Sharda, Sanjay, and all those who are there. Okay, done. All right. I will see you all again very soon, sometime in another session on YouTube and app. And for those of you who have their interviews in the next couple of weeks or so, all the best. Bye-bye.